welcome to SVGTV's news for Friday, November 5th, 2021. I'm Triska Campbell with the details. After the reopening of schools for face-to-face learning on Monday, November 1st, several schools have reportedly been impacted by COVID-19. This is according to Health Promotions Officer Shanika John, who was on NBC Radio's face-to-face program today. John said that contact tracing has started, but noted that there is a strong adherence to protocols. The Health Promotions Officer pointed out that if positive cases of COVID-19 is detected at a school, the entire school does not necessarily have to close.
Need if you have one positive case within a school for you to close the entire school. We have set out specific requirements in which how we would do the contact tracing, identifying who are the main contacts and so forth, to avoid for very little or no disruption of the entire school population. And that's really for those schools that are in full because they have very high vaccination rate.
John further encouraged parents to speak to their children on the importance of following the COVID-19 protocols, especially when they are at school.
We're in the COVID-19 pandemic, but it's really important for us to follow the specific protocols. And I'm making another appeal to parents as well to have a conversation with your child or children so that they will better be able to understand the situation in which we are in right now, and they will be able to operate and move accordingly.
The Health Promotions Officer said that the Ministry of Health is working along with the teachers to provide education on the COVID-19 vaccine.
So we will continue to work with the schools in this coming week in particular, and we would also continue to work with those sectors who are interested in getting that final session in for their staff. Just yesterday I had just 3 sessions alone in one day. So we are doing that as well to facilitate that discussion so that persons can be able to have that conversation and be able to make a better informed decision.
Union Island Secondary School and Sinclair Dakin Secondary Schools are the 2 schools recognized by the Ministry of Education that have recorded vast improvements at this year's Caribbean Secondary Examination Certificate (CSEG) exams. Union Island recorded a 19% increased pass rate, moving up from 49% in 2020 to 68% in 2021. The principal of the school, Daryl Williams, said that they received 100% pass rates in some subjects.
We recorded about 18 students with passes over 5 subjects, and the grades were between grades 2 and 3. We had several subjects with 100% passes though, and I think that would have attributed to the increase in the pass rate. We had about 6 subject areas with 100% passes between grades 2 and 3. The top student who would have passed all of their subjects was a young man named Kamaya Stewart, but there were 7 other students who obtained 7 passes over 8.
The principal attributed the increase in pass rates to the commitment of the teachers who worked long hours with the 33 fifth form students.
It was 48% pass, and this year I believe the teachers worked hard, and especially getting the students to complete the SBAs on time, because this year we would have been doing SBA plus the multiple choice, and there was teachers who spent time after school, even sometimes on weekends, working with the students to try to get them to a certain level.
The school's top student, Amaya Stewart, will be furthering his studies at the SVG Community College. Meanwhile, the Sinclair Dakin Secondary School, which was also recognized by the Ministry of Education, has improved its percentage pass rate by 17%. In 2020, the percentage pass was 66%, and in 2021, it climbed up to 83%. Deputy Principal of the school, Eve Knight, said that the students performed to the best of their ability as they were motivated to do.
20 students writing the exams, 10 males, 10 females. and our top performer was a female. Her name is Tanisha Ralph, and she got 6 1s and 4 2s. Our top male performer was Curtis Joe. He got a total of 4 1s, 5 2s, and 1 3. Well, it continued to climb, but last year we had I would not say we had a dip last year, but what happened last year, our EDPM results came back as no student passing the exams. There was an error in terms of the results. We had to query it. When the result came back later earlier this year, we got the result, and we saw 100% pass in EDPM again as well.
Knight said that the percentage pass rate has increased consecutively over the years and credits the success to the teamwork by staff, students, and parents.
We have been focusing on being the best rural school in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So that was part of our agenda. We will consistently remind the students that we are working towards being the best rural school. Additionally, our school motto, let the target be success, that's also a focus. And consistency in terms of we keep encouraging the students, letting them know that they are just as good as these students from the schools that are the top schools in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And most of all, we credit it to teamwork, staff. We have an excellent staff, I would say, the best staff, one of the best staff in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and we work holistically as a team.
Invest SVG is reportedly having a positive feedback from the investors at the Dubai Expo, which opened the 1st of October. Executive Director of Invest SVG, Annette Mark, who returned from Dubai recently, said that 3 memorandum of understandings were signed and many other investment inquiries were made for the 1 month that she was at the Dubai Expo, where more than 170 countries are showcasing their country to the world.
The memorandums were signed. Those 3 memorandums were the parties to it, St. Vincent Chamber of Commerce, plus the other parties to one of them was the Cyber Wales. The other one was Cardiff Academy, and it allows for the exchange of information, training, best practices in different areas in each one of them. And as a matter of fact, one of the persons who signed, the head of Cardiff Wales, Cardiff Academy, should be traveling to St. Vincent at the end of November. I'm just waiting on confirmation. So he will meet with the chamber members in respect to that.
The executive director explained that they are pleased with persons visiting SVG's pavilion, where they are marketing SVG to the world.
We had a great, for the 4 weeks that I was there, we had a great feedback. A lot of people came to the pavilion. We had quite a lot of inquiries in respect to St. Vincent as a holiday destination, and also some investment opportunities. On the 21st of October, we had a meet and greet event, and we had a number of persons from St. Vincent were there too. Mr. Barry Ferdinand and Kelly Glass made a presentation with a number of high net worth persons at this meeting. We had about 40-something people present at the meeting, and the Prime Minister zoomed in and brought greetings from St. Vincent and spoke about the investment climate in St. Vincent. As a result of that, we do have a number of persons, a promising outlook of persons wanting to come to St. Vincent between the end of November and next year.
SVG's National Day was slated for October 21st, 2021. However, it had to be postponed to next year.
Day is that you get all the attention is on St. Vincent on that particular day. You would have the raising of the flag, the national anthem is played throughout the Expo, and there are a lot of everything on the big screens is about St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and we have a lot of high-level meetings. So, of course, the higher the level of the delegation is the higher the level of the responses that all persons or stakeholders that will attend those meetings. So we were advised to postpone our National Day, and it will now be next year. So far, it is more than likely going to be the 14th of February next year.
The Royal Navy on Monday, November 1st, assisted the U.S. seismic team in their maintenance work on some of the monitoring equipment at the summit of the volcano. Noting the importance of maintaining the equipment at the summit, lead monitoring scientist of the La Soufrière volcano, Roderick Stewart, said on radio today that he is grateful for the use of the Royal Navy's helicopter. He noted that it would have been difficult and risky to get to the summit by hiking.
Because we've got equipment that's quite close to the summit, and we really don't want to have to walk up there because it exposes our staff to more time at the summit than we deem is appropriate. So we had the Navy here, and we tried to do some some maintenance work on our equipment. The cloud wasn't very helpful that day, but we got some work done, and we got some observations. We got some good photographs of the crater. So that's been going on, maintenance has been going on, and measurements and training. This is really the last 20 odd years, and we're doing that here. We have to keep monitoring, we have to keep watching, have to keep all the equipment working so that if something does happen, and really don't want it to happen, and I think it's a very low possibility of happening.
Giving an update on the recent activities of the volcano, Stewart said that the seismic activity at La Soufrière has continued to decrease since the tremor associated with the explosion and ash venting on April 22nd.
In the last couple of weeks, we've had a few lahar signals. Every time it rains, there's been some lahars. But in terms of the volcano, and lava coming out, no sign of any recurrence happening. It still has the signs of the post-eruption period. So that's good. That's very good. Last had a review of it. So there's no evidence of any dome growth, which is something that might show that lava's coming out again. There's no real change in the hot spots, the fumaroles in the crater. There was some standing water. I wouldn't call it a crater lake yet, but there was evidence of some water that was pooling in the crater. But really, the main thing was that there's no changes in the crater recently.
The volcano alert level remains at yellow. Lead scientists further noted that lahars continue to affect the river valleys close to the volcano and caution persons to stay away from these river valleys.
If there's heavy rain around, don't be in the valleys, don't be in the rivers, and if you're visiting the area, be south of any valleys that might get lahars, otherwise you might get trapped. So if we have heavy rain, we might have large lahars.
19 new COVID-19 positive cases were reported from 147 samples collected on Thursday, November 4th, resulting in a positivity rate of 12.9%. 8 new rapid antigen positive results were reported from flu clinics on November 4th. Hospital admissions are currently at 7 patients admitted for COVID-19 at the Argyle Isolation Facility. 6 are unvaccinated, 1 is partially vaccinated. 23 patients are admitted to the COVID-19 wards at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital. 20 patients are said to be unvaccinated, 3 are partially vaccinated. COVID-19 deaths No new deaths were recorded over the reporting period. COVID-19 summary, 7 new recoveries were noted over the reporting period. 1,096 cases are currently active and 69 persons with COVID-19 have died. 5,092 cases of COVID-19 and 3,927 recoveries have been recorded in SVG since March 2020. Pregnant women and those who are thinking of getting pregnant in this COVID-19 pandemic are strongly advised to take COVID-19 vaccines. This advice came from Health Promotions Officer Shanika John, who was on NBC Radio's face-to-face program this morning, where she outlined the risk of getting the COVID-19 infections while pregnant and not vaccinated.
To women who are pregnant, who are thinking about getting pregnant and would want to delay taking the COVID-19 vaccine in fear of that there is something that's going to happen to either mommy or baby. And so the data is also showing that being pregnant now in the pandemic actually puts you at a greater risk for that sort of complication associated once you contract the COVID-19 virus. So even at this particular stage, we're really encouraging pregnant mommies to get vaccinated. And of course, this is a discussion that you would want to take with your physician to decide at what stage. So if you want to take your first trimester, your second trimester. But it is strongly advised that you get the COVID-19 vaccine because, if you do get COVID and you're already pregnant, that puts you at greater risk for maternal deaths. We have all of these different things associated that is really heartbreaking to start to discuss. And so the aim of it is really just to give you that added layer of protection.
Meanwhile, the Health Promotions Officer explained the process persons must follow to be exempt from taking the COVID-19 vaccines.
Reason to believe that you have a medical condition, whatever that medical condition is, and you should not take the vaccine, you're asked to go to one of these doctors to review. So you can go in the public system and you can also go in the private system. Once they have reviewed and go through the process of reviewing your process, take you through all of those claims, then if they find reason to believe that you really should be exempted, it goes through a second phase where it goes to another smaller committee that reviews the documentation and would advise the chief medical officer accordingly. And so that's really the process of how it goes bit by bit. And I think it's important for persons to understand that with everything, there must be a system. And what I really like about this, Johnny, is that the doctors are no stranger to us. These are doctors that we would see on a daily basis at our polyclinics, at our district clinics. When we have doctors there, we will take their advice for medication, for seeking advice for healthcare, for follow-up care, etc.
While breast cancer awareness is heightened in October, women are encouraged to be aware of any changes to their breasts all year round. Dr. Barry R.C., General Surgeon in SVG, said that a woman does not need to die from breast cancer if only they can make an early detection of changes to the breast.
Long time ago, 10 years ago, I told her just you come here once a year like a regular woman. So that's what we're looking for all the women in St. Vincent, to have this category, to go back to your normal life, to treat the breast cancer, and you live your life. I have a lot of these patients too, as I told you, when you discover it early, the survival rate is very high, and they go back to their normal life within no time. As you can, and the detection only, as we say, if you feel any changes, you come straight forward. If you don't feel anything and you check your yearly check-in by your doctor and it is normal, still your doctor will request a mammogram when you reach up to 40, unless you have a, what we call it, history of the breast cancer. That means the history that if your mother has a breast cancer, or your grandmother from your mother's side has a breast cancer, or ovarian cancer, they are connected together. Plus, anybody from the mother side, your auntie or so from the mother side, if they have breast cancer, usually now we advise to have another screen mammogram, maybe by the age of 35 to 40.
Dr. Ossie said not every lump is not a cancer and that women need to be more open about their diagnosis, as many women hide it or live in denial, which gives them a slim chance of survival.
Before, but here we see it in late stages sometimes. And most of the time, the people will be scared. They see a lump and they will be scared. They will go by the doctor to tell them this is a breast cancer. So they will keep it. And actually, they will hide it even from the surrounding family. So if she is a female, she will hide it from her spouse or from her kids. She does not want to tell anybody about it. And then when they start to be overbearing, when they start to seek medical attention. There are few. Most of the women here, they are educated. We were able to detect very early stages with breast cancer. And actually, we have a lot of patients who come and we tell them you don't need anything.
Dr. Ossie said that based on his practice in SVG, he has seen many women who beat breast cancer, but also many who unfortunately never made it out alive.
So they think they have some changes, and let me tell you, I'm not exaggerating, from 100 patients who comes to say we have a breast cancer, maybe 95, they have not diagnosed with a cancer, will not diagnose with a cancer. I would say, okay, this is a breast lump, this is a normal lump, this is a cyst, this is some hormonal changes. So from every 100 patients, 95, they will pass to the green light. They have nothing. And the other 5, now you go what you catch early, what you catch late. It depends. I see some patients when the cancer is overtake the breast, and not 1 and 2, there are many. Let me tell you something, I never see it anywhere else except in the books and here, so I did not see it where I come from.
The Ministry of Agriculture will be receiving another large shipment of vegetable seeds in the next 2 weeks. At a recent handing over ceremony of vegetable seeds, Minister of Agriculture, Saboto Caesar, said that the large shipments will boost the development of agriculture in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
There are several other organizations and companies that have come forward already. I know that WINFA, for example, received a large quantity of seeds. Also, we obtained assistance through AICA, and the chief will mention also that the input warehouse will be having more seeds on offer to farmers, and there is a process and protocols to be followed to get that assistance. In fact, I'm aware that a very large shipment of seeds are expected in the country in the next 2 weeks or so, and there should be another distribution next week from AICA, and we're putting all those plans in place.
Chief Agricultural Officer Renata Gums said that things are being put in place to assist farmers with vegetable production, as some of these vegetable seeds are new to farmers.
In the ministry, have realized that we need a lot more coordination in the way we do things. And the minister mentioned marketing. And so far what we have done, we had our first meeting last week, is that we are putting a committee in place, a team, to look at all aspects of vegetable production. And that would not reside with personnel from the ministry alone. We're looking at a broad-based team, the persons, the farmers, the private sector, the hotel association, tourism. We want everybody to have a say and make their contribution in what we need to do going forward. Marketing of agricultural produce is key, but as you know, we have a very small population. We can, buy all the food that we can produce. We need to go beyond our shows and sell externally. So we have this committee we have put in place, and we have just put together a small team to come up with the terms of reference, and the terms of reference will determine who all we will have involved in that committee.